Using subcontractors is quite literally the easiest way to start and build a $120,000 a year commercial painting business that runs itself. So in this video, I'm going to show you the exact process I use to hire subcontractors. Everything from sourcing them, interviewing them, and onboarding them. Exactly how to make $120,000 a year and how to get your subs to run the business day to day so that you can focus on growing even more. Step one. So what is a subcontractor and why should you use a subcontractor versus hiring an employee painter? A subcontractor, all it means is they're just their own separate company. They already know how to paint. They already have been doing it for years. So we hire them to paint commercial buildings so that I can focus on, or that you can focus on, growing it, marketing, and sales. You know, if I was to spend all my time painting a big building like this, that's a lot of hours that's wasted that I could be out there getting more work. So a subcontractor is already licensed, already bonded, they're already a company, they have their own name. All I got to do is go find them and partner with them, and then they come and paint the buildings for me. So it works both ways. I don't want to paint the buildings all the time. They do. And then I go out and focus on getting customers for them to keep them busy. That's probably why I would use them over an employee. Because an employee, what do you have to do? You got to train them. You got to buy all the equipment. The subcontractor already has all that. They have the ladders. They have the equipment. They already have the skills. So it's a lot of responsibility. And it's a lot longer. It takes me a lot longer to scale a business versus just going out, finding someone that's reliable, that already has a business. Now, when we're going and looking for subcontractors, it's important to note that we actually treat it like a sales process. Subcontractors in general, they're looking for someone who's reliable, that they can trust. They know that has their act together, that's a legit business. They want that. They want that stability where they know they can show up and work every day. So that's what you're doing with this whole sales process that I'm getting ready to show you step by step, is that you want to have the same thing every time that you look for subs throughout the life of your business. It's going to gain their trust in you that this guy knows what he's doing because he has this process, and they like that because it directly relates to he probably also has a sales process for finding work. So then they know, oh, he's going to have consistent work. But it definitely does take time to learn these skills. And that's why I've put together a 30-day blueprint down in the description below where you can go get that. It's everything you need to get started today to land your first client in the next 30 days. So go get that in the description below. So now we're to the sourcing part, or how we're actually going to find the subcontractor to paint the commercial project that you have. The first place I did, the first subcontractor I ever found, I went to Indeed. This is just a website that you go on and you can post a job there. I want to say when I did it was like $25 a month, and you post an ad there that you're looking for subcontractors. Another place, you can go to your painting rep and you can ask them if there are any new companies in the area that are looking for work. Networking is another one. So this is where you actually walk into painting stores. They're all over the place, and you can go in and ask them, hey, are there any guys looking for work? So now after you've posted your job posting, or you've gotten some applicants, you've also gotten some leads from your painting rep that you're able to call and see if they're looking for commercial painting work. It's important to note that if you're posting on Indeed or Craigslist, those ads, you're going to get a lot of weak applicants. Okay, that's perfectly normal. Just expect that. People are going to reply and they're not even going to give you information, or they're not going to reply with the right type of information. So then you're just going to call the qualified applicants, those people that replied with the right information. They got a phone number, email, whatever it is. You want to call them and get on the phone and start talking to them. And there's some questions you want to ask to make sure that they qualify for the job. And you're going to ask them, what is their previous background? Are they used to painting commercial buildings? If they got painting experience housing, that's fine. And then their weekly availability. Are they able to take a job on every week? Make sure that they're licensed. Ask them that. What their prep looks like on an interior office. That's the most important part. That's probably where you're going to start with. If they walk you through it, it's fine. It sounds legit. After that, you want to meet with them. So the qualified applicant stage, basically when everything they reply with is good. They reply with their number. They show that they're a contractor. And okay, next step is to call them. So you give them a call. You just ask about their work experience, make sure they know how to paint commercial buildings, and then you want to meet with them in person right after that. Throughout this entire process, really, all you're doing is just looking for small little things that aren't right. And you're basically asking the same questions: their experience, their insurance documents, tell them to bring them so that you can verify that that's right, and then as well as that they're licensed again, And if they got any pictures, they could pull it out on their phone and show you literally that they paint. And that is your key indicator that they know what they're doing. And at that point, if sounds like a good fit, then you're going to move to the next stage of actually starting to onboard them. So once we meet with them, we basically want to show them the job that we're getting ready to paint. So the one you just were awarded, we're going to show, typically I just bring it out on my phone, a Word doc, and I'll show pictures of it, as well as actual details, the job description. So we're painting 2 offices. This is the color we're going to be using. This is when we can start and stop times, how much paint we're going to use. And you can look at the estimator and it'll show you exactly how much paint you need. So you put that on there and the type of paint, and then you just show them the price and say, hey, this is how much the job is going to pay. And that's always 50% of your total job cost is what you're going to pay them. That's the partnership. You work to get them leads, you pay them half of the job, you make half, you pay your bills and your overhead, and now that's the joint partnership. You work together and you can create a very successful business that way. So after you agree, the price is good, they like the work, you've met in person, you're comfortable with moving forward with them, the next step is actually just onboard them. So what you're going to do is you're going to go back to the office, you're going to say, hey, I'm going to send you an email, and that email is just going to be a subcontractor agreement, which basically just states that you guys are going to go in agreement together. They're going to be working for the job, the amount of pay that you give them, and that they follow your company standards, right? That way you're showing proof that they're at a different company and that you guys are partnering together. This is for tax purposes to run a 6-figure business. This is how you need to operate and be professional. The next thing is to get their insurance, make sure that the insurance is up to date so that you can be listed on as a certificate holder. It's real easy to do. They will do that on the end. Just tell them that they need it. And then once you have their insurance, if they have employees, you're going to need their workman's comp. If you have those documents, the next step is to actually schedule the job. All right, so you found your first good subcontractor. Now it's time to get them to work so they can start making money, so you can get them trained up so that they run the business day to day. You want to get it to the point where you're not showing up to the jobs at all. Some jobs are a little more complicated. You may have to show up the first day, but they're doing all the work throughout the day. Just like George is here in the Man Left, he's painting this building. I'm not here all day doing that. I'm spending my time, well, recording this video, but I should be spending my time, with commercial clients, doing bid walks, sales and marketing. So basically the first day of the job looks like this. You show up at 8 a.m., the commercial client shows up too. You guys walk the job. Yep, this is what's going to be done. We're going to paint this wall. We're going to do trim. The sub says, okay. And then I let them work. We have to be done at 5:30. I'm going to come check in with you on that first day at 5:30 to make sure everything's good and we're good to go. If you have any problems in between, give me a call. I'll come out and, I'll help you any way I can. Second day, same thing, start at 8. We're going to be done at 5. The job finishes that day. They give you an hour reminder before the job's done. Literally a text or a call. Hey, Robert, I'm going to be done painting this wall at 5:30. Just to let you know, it's about an hour away. That's it. That's essentially what it looks like with them running your business. You give them a job, they show up, they get it done, they start at 8, they're done at 5:30. At the end of the job, each day, I have him take a picture. So he would just take a picture of this wall, and I can clearly see in that picture what he's done. He says, Robert, tomorrow I'm going to be done at 3:30. Then I just get on the phone and tell the client, looking at it, the main body color's on, there's some trim work that needs to be done, but we're looking like tomorrow at 4:30 we're going to be done. How does that sound? Client says yes, and you're good to go. All right, so pretty much here at the end of the day, I got George out there working, so I'm just going to call and get an update, and that's basically what my day looks like. So I'm just going to give him a call.
Hello.
Hey George, how's it going?
Yes, going good.
Cool, man.
Where are you?
Just checking on the stripe. Do you think you'll get that stripe done today?
For here in the back, yeah, because I'm gonna stop noon because I want to go spray where the trailer move it.
Okay. Cool, man. Yeah. What time are you gonna be done today?
Probably I say like 2 or 3.
Okay. Cool, man. Yeah, I'll let the client know. Probably looking like gonna finish next week.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay, man.
You have more job for?
Yeah.
For us?
Get you more jobs. Yeah.
Oh.
Always, man.
Cool.
We'll get one lined up for you
Perfect.
once we're done here.
Okay, perfect.
All right, George. Thank you, man. We'll talk to you tomorrow. They're out there doing it. They're out there working all day, and I'm gonna go do an estimate here with the commercial client, send some bids out, and that's pretty much the end of my day. All right, so now that these subcontractors are working for you, you gotta understand there is one liability thing that you gotta be careful with, and that is making them look as if they are your employees. So if you ever get audited by the contractor board that controls contractors, or like IRS, making sure that you don't have any employees, that's the whole purpose of this. They have their employees. You're running this on your own. You have to make sure that there's a clear division between you two. So you never want to offer like any incentives as far as like bonus pay or pay for performance, that type of stuff, or vacation pay. You have to keep the two businesses separate. So in the event you get audited, they clearly see that these are subcontractors. It's okay if they wear your shirts. Like I'll ask the guys like, hey, do you want to wear a company shirt? So they don't get their clothes messed up. But that's their own option. If you're giving them bonuses and holiday pay and you're telling them they need to wear your company shirts, that's an employee. And then you're going to have to pay workman's comp if you get caught doing that. And they'll say, oh, you gave them bonuses, you gave them this, they're your employee, and now you have to pay all that workman's comp back to the state or to the city there. Now, once you find one good, reliable subcontractor that basically has completed one job with you, you need to make sure that you keep recruiting more subcontractors. And the best place to do that is if you have one that's reliable, you simply just ask them, hey, do you know anybody else that's looking for more work? And typically, if they're a good subcontractor, they're going to know other good subcontractors as well. So I would ask them. In fact, George, who's fanning behind us, was someone that was referred to me from another subcontractor. So that is a very good way to do it. Initially, it takes some groundwork, but it pays off over time. And then you want to keep recruiting more. So not only asking, but still going into paint stores, still talking to your paint rep and looking for reliable subcontractors. Don't allow one sub to gain excessive leverage. And that's the thing within business in general. As you're building your commercial painting business, you got to have leverage. That's why you keep recruiting more subs, but also don't let the one sub that you have be the only one that they're going to say, oh, you don't need anybody else. I got all the guys you need. And what it does is it prevents you from growing later, because as you get more jobs, you don't want to rely on the one. So just make sure that you're always prepared. Also, you want to maintain a good relationship with your subcontractors, not just business. Don't always call and talk about the work. Get to know them. Do they have kids? What do they like doing on the weekends? Do they like going on 4th of July parties? That type of stuff. And then also, like once a month, I just have a little reminder that reminds me to probably bring them some water, or get them a coffee, or get them lunch that day. That's perfectly normal, and that's what you should be doing. That's building a professional relationship with them, and they're going to reward you with doing great jobs, treating the clients well, and that keeps everything moving, and that's how you're going to grow a great business. All right, so exactly how are you going to get to $120,000 a year with subcontractors? And that's why the commercial painting business is ultimately the best business to start to get to that number. So if we're targeting 1 to 2 man crews, let's just say 2-man crew. George here, he's got 4 on his crew, but I got another crew that's working across town right now. He's a 2-man crew. This week, he's going to produce a $10,000 project for me. So we pay our subcontractors half that amount. So in 1 week with one contractor, that's $5,000. Some are $2,000, some are a little more. But if we were just to take that week at a glance, $5,000 from a $10,000 project that I profited, let's just say you're not going to work all those weeks that year. You want to take time off for the holidays or your sick days with the family or whatever, 40 weeks a year. That's still $200,000 with one job a week with only one subcontractor crew that has 2 man. So how much can you do with bigger crews? How much can you do with 2 crews? You have 1 crew working for you, that frees you up to do the marketing and sales. And that's how you run a 6-figure commercial painting business. Have your subs do it, and so that you can focus on what's important. Now, running subcontracting crews, that's only part of the process. There's so much more that's involved with starting a commercial painting business. So if you want the full breakdown, exactly how to start a $120,000 a year solo commercial painting business, I just hope it helps you. And let me know in the comments if you have any questions regarding this video. I'll answer them all. Have a good day.